Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anya and you're watching the very first episode of Reimagination to Reality. So guys, I just had my hair done. As you can see, I look vastly different from what you will see next in the video. And this is my new hair. It's giving drama and poofiness and I'm living for it. So in this episode, I am not making outfit from scratch. Instead, I will be taking the outfit that I made for Cowboy Carter Tour 2025. For the concert, I made a sparkly bodysuit and a pair of chaps, but I was not so satisfied with how the chap turned out. Therefore, here we are. We are going to turn this version 1 chap into a whole new version 2. So if you're interested in knowing how I did it, please keep on watching. This is day 1 of me attempting to fix the chap that I made for my Cowboy Carter Tour outfit. There are 2 major flaws about this chap that motivated me to adjust it. One is that it's too short. So it lays kind of around this awkward position around my ankle, especially when I'm wearing heels. Second flaw is that this chap is too wide. It's very different from what I sketched out in the beginning. I wanted a more sleek, clean, and not like floppy type of look. Alright guys, so here you can see that this is the original front pattern, and on the inside of these patterns I've made several pockets. So this one has 2 smaller pockets and I designed them specifically for keys, room cards, and credit cards. Put everything here in the pockets so I don't have to hold anything on my hands or carry a bag. And this one has a bigger pockets. This is for passport. As Cowboy Carter Tour, you need to show your passport for ticket pickup. So these chaps are specifically designed for concert, and I can just dance my heart out, enjoy the concert without, holding extra things on my hands. Alright, and on the bottom of the front piece, you can see this slit. There were zippers here. I took it apart. So basically the zipper did nothing because with the pants this wide, you don't really need a zipper to like widen it up anymore. But I like the zipper as a detail, so I think I would definitely incorporate that into my version 2 chap. Here you can see I have 2 pieces. These are the back, and you can see how like a rush of a job that is because I did not have time to fix the seam, so it was a mess, but we're gonna fix that. And you can see like with the front and the back, let me show you. With the front and the back coming together, it will look a little bit like this. These parts will be on the side, the part when you hook your belt in. The front and the back are both very wide at the same time. Nothing is contouring or form-fitting, so it's just very wide and very chunky altogether. I've done some research, and turns out there are various ways I could possibly design this. So my initial thought is, for the back piece, in order to do the contouring better, I would cut this into a left and right, possibly below the hip line. And then I will move this part when you hook the belt in all the way to the front. So in the front, it will be a bigger part where you can hook your belt. Here with the original piece, I have fringes that was cut out from the fabric. I love how it kind of frayed a little bit, or a lot of it. These will probably be added in the back, which will be here in the middle, all the way up. Here's my initial thought. So my first thought is I will cut out the excessive fabric from the old pattern around knee line, and then I will add in the rest from below knee line. One thing that I will stick to throughout this production is that I will not cut out an entire set of new fabric just to make a new chap. I want to be able to use what I cut out before rather than just making like a brand new one, because that would be, I guess, too easy and not challenging enough. I will try my best to use up all the fabric that I cut out for my previous version of chap. There are some patterns that I will be referencing for this project. First of all, I will be using my tight pants pattern that I made for my previous project, and some other patterns that I will also be referencing from this book, the 5th edition of Pattern Making for Fashion Design, literally a dictionary. So I will be referencing the Slack foundation in this book, which will be giving me a more sleek type of look. And this technique, how to contour your pants with crease line flare. I read it on a book and I find it quite interesting, and hopefully this will give the chap a more fitted look. My thought is to use this technique on the back of my chap. Those are the things that I plan to reference and use. So today I'm going to have my chap version 2 pattern ready.
24 hours later.
Welcome back. This is day 2 of me fixing my chap version 1. So yesterday I started off with some patterns, and today I made some further adjustments to the pattern. I feel like I need to change my approach with this type of talking head clips. Otherwise, I would be serious, very serious all the time. So I've decided to record some chit chat. I was really in my mind thinking that Beyonce will do something, that she will release a little bit of something on Christmas, but she is by far very silent. I mean, I know she's taking a well-deserved break, but I was really hoping, wishing, longing for Cowboy Carter Tour movie, just like what we had with Renaissance World Tour, when we have these time slots where you can do whatever you want in the theater and nobody's gonna like tell you to sit down, you can dance your heart out. Unfortunately, we do not have that this year. I'm a little sad about it. I was thinking maybe I could wear this chap to the movie. Unfortunately, we're not getting any of that. Hopefully, next year, 2026, we get to have some format of tour movie, tour DVD, tour anything, just something to just keep our spirit up, you know. And I get to show off my chap version 2 big time. I have a lot of ideas. I have so much going on in my mind right now, and I already have like several items that I would probably make to pair with this chap. Let's just have a lot of fun together. All right. Yep. So wish me luck on this one, and let's get to work. All right, people, let's work. This is the front pattern that I did yesterday. Right here, you see this is what we originally had, the tight pants pattern. And I have widened this up from knee line below. I wanted it to kind of be straighter from knee below. So here's how it looks like. Right here, you see the little curve here is the pants contouring. And I've added 1 inch on each side because I figured the thigh area would be a little too tight if I were to do it according to the tight pants pattern. You can see originally I have given no room at all here. Like this part was going to be really tight if I didn't add in a little bit of room here. The blue area here is what I add in. And then let's take a look at the original front piece that I have here from chap version 1. So here you can see this was the original front. It's a lot wider and so it's a little bit shorter in length here. In our chap version 2, we're gonna cut from knee below using the old fabric. You can see that's just about fit in there. And from knee above this part, we're gonna use the new fabric, which will be cut out freshly. And I've had a couple ideas of what I wanna do connecting this line. One is to create the laced up effect, which will probably require me punching holes around this line and then put in some eyelets and then have the lace, you know, running through it. And the second idea that I have is to do like a horizontal part here, like a biker pants, where you will have like horizontal knee pads right here. So I haven't decided on which one I want to do. I need to kind of think about which one would work best. First of all, the lace up effect. In my opinion, I think the laced up look would look better, but I don't know why, but I'm just not really feeling it. I think the knee pad look would be a little, I guess, weird for a chap. I don't know, we shall see. So right here, I'm going to cut this open around knee line. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut it into 2 pieces. All right, so later on when I'm working on cutting out the fabric, these two would be cut out separately. Here you can see this is back pattern, which is separated into 2 pieces because we had to do some contouring. Right here, it's connecting to the front. And on the front, this part is cut out completely. And then on this side, I wanted to have a little curve. So I've also added 1/2 inch on each side for the back piece as well. So that would be 2 inch in total that I've added in. Let's take a look at the original pattern that we have right here. The original is way, way, way wide. That is why it is like baggy all the way. So the original pattern is definitely not gonna be enough for me to cut out like these two at the same time. So what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna just try and fit either of this into this piece of cloth, and then the rest we will use new fabric. For the fringes that I've mentioned, I am going to add the fringes here at the center back, sorry. So I have 4 of them. These are what I have so far. And we're gonna start with cutting out the fabric now.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So right when I was about to start cutting out the fabric, I found out that I perhaps need to figure out what I need to do with the knee line first. So I did some thinking and I sketched it out. So as I mentioned, there are 2 options. One is the laced up look that we have right now, and the other is like a knee pad, which will probably be here. I was trying to wing it, but here I am. I've made my decision. The reason why I feel like I need to make a decision before I start cutting out the fabrics, because if we do the lace up only in the front here and not all the way through the back here, I feel like it's gonna be a little weird and inconsistent. But then I also don't want to break this like perfect straight line with like a horizontal lacing. Here's what I decided to do. I will cut out from the knee line, but instead of doing a straight like horizontal line, I am going to do like a curve. So it goes from the inside and then up to the outside, and then on each side here I will also be doing the lacing effect, which will give it a consistent look all the way here. So this will be all laced up all the way here. And then with this curve, I just think it kind of echoes with this curve as well in the back. So we have 2 curves. With that said, we need to then fix our pattern. We just cut the front pattern open on the knee line, but what we did was like a horizontal line. However, now I need to change it to like a curve. So I'm going to paste it back with a little paper tape. So you can see in the back, there's a lot of taping going on. I'm going to tape it back first, and then I will then see how much of a curve that I'd like for this part. Here, I am going to draw out my curve on the pattern that I just pasted back. The curve is going to go here, lower on the inside, and then higher on the outside. So something a little bit like this. See how the curve looks like. Yeah, so definitely something like this. Yeah, I think that'll be good. That'll be good. Okay, so we're gonna cut open like this. There we have it. So I am going to cut it open here. There we go. Nicely done. All right, so now we're ready to cut out the fabric. Alright, so here you can see I am pinning the paper pattern to my fabric. So here we'll be cutting 4 pieces for the back and 4 pieces for the front. So here I am marking along my paper pattern, and I am leaving 1.5 centimeter seam for both front and the back at the bottom, and 1 centimeter seam for the rest. Welcome to the infamous sew days, where craziest thing happens. So it has been crazy 2 days where I have been sewing non-stop. The entire chap is basically finished during these 2 days, and a lot has happened. I will take you through the entire sewing process, basically from overlocking everything to putting eyelets on. I think this project is pretty epic. It is also easier than building stuff from scratch, because I have had the experience of making chap version 1, so version 2 kind of just come, I wouldn't say easy. There were struggles along the way, but nothing too big that I couldn't solve within these 2 days. So I say come a tad bit easier. And after showing you guys the sewing process, I will also show you the first fitting. Yeah, that's it. So let's take a look. So first thing first, we are going to overlock all the fabric. So this fabric still frays very easy, therefore I am overlocking all 4 sides of each pieces. Coming into the first step, so I am first going to combine the fringes with my back pieces. As you can see on the left, I am pinning the fringes onto one of the back piece, and then I am sewing them together. Here's another angle where you can see I am sewing the fringes and the back piece together. So after cutting up some excessive fabric on the side, here you can see how 2 pieces looks like combined with the fringes. And after the fringes are sewn on, I am now combining the 2 back pieces together. Again, I am pinning them together, and after that, they are sent to my sewing machine. And voila, this is one side done and how it looks like. So one down, one to go. After finishing the back, I am moving to the front piece. So first of all, I am dealing with the seam. This is around the knee line. As you can see, I folded it twice and then pinning it up and then sewing it together. I am going to use laces to connect this part. Alright, this is how both seams looks like when they're done. Now I am marking where the eyelets will go. Here are the 2 top parts of the front pieces, and as you can see, I am matching the position of the eyelets. And here I am putting the eyelets in the top part first. For the eyelets, you need to put matching holes onto the fabric first, and then smashing the eyelets into places. Now this is a very long and very noisy process. I was conscious the whole time because I was worried that I was too loud for my neighbors, but I survived it. So here we're repeating the same process on the other side. One thing for the eyelets though, you have to make sure that the fabric that you're putting the eyelets on are thick enough. Otherwise, the eyelets will be moving around. Alright, that is how the eyelets look like. And after the eyelets, we're moving into the very long process of making the laces. So here I used, I call it a double folded method. For the laces, I did not overlock the fabric because I don't want to add into the thickness. So I folded the fabric twice and then put it into the sewing machine and stitched them together. You can see that I used a lot of tool to help because the laces that I made was really thin, and with my hand alone I couldn't really control the fabric. So as you can see, I am running it through the sewing machine again, and it's finally done. Now it's time to repeat the same process again.
2 hours later.
Alright, after I survived a very long process of making both laces, this is how the front and back look like separately. I have pinned them together just to show you how it looks like combined. So the laces will go a little bit on the side, but not too much because I realized the back piece is very short and doesn't really have much room for me to put in more eyelets, so I decided to stop midway. Like I said, I really like the zipper details on the version 1 chap. Therefore, here I am putting zippers on the bottom part of the front piece. So there are a lot of tutorials online doing this like twisting method, you know, how you just like sew and then twist it and then keep sewing and then it turned out to be perfect. I find it a little difficult to work with, so I decided to use the easy method. Sewn and stabilized the end of the zipper, and I turn it over and then pin it and then sew the rest. There you have it, the final result. I have 2 zippers on successfully. In order to better complete the lacing effect, I am now stitching up the outer side of this leg. So once I finish sewing the side, it looks like this. It is time to work on the last bits of the lace up part. So here I am measuring both sides, and I am also contemplating on how the laces would go and deciding where I'm going to put the eyelets. So as mentioned, the eyelets and the laces will go a little bit on the side. So here you can see I am putting the last bits of eyelets on. So after all the eyelets are put into places, we're going to sew up the top bits of the outside seam, leaving only the lacing up part open. And you can see we're very close to the finish line. The finish line of one leg, of course, we have to repeat the entire process on the other one. So this is how one leg looked like so far after stitching. And here you can see the slit open of the lacing effect. And we're going to put some decoration studs right here. So I measured it and made sure that it is the same distance as the eyelets. After the studs are in place, I sewn up the inner seam, and all that's left is to repeat the same process on the other leg, and we're done. Yep, we're done with the legs, but we're not done yet. We have still belt to make. So here you can see with the belt, I also use the double folded method because I find it to be the most even and great looking. So here I am combining the buckle with the belt, and I made a little mistake here because the buckle was actually made for, I think, 4 centimeter of a belt, but I wanted a, wider and thicker belt. So I measured 5 centimeter of the fabric, and then I found out it was too wide. So as you can see, I am folding the last bits just so the fabric can go through the buckle. With the last version of the chap, I used the eyelets as the holes on my belt, but that caused a very big issue because the eyelets are too big and the surface of the eyelets are really smooth, and the buckle doesn't really work like that. I think the buckle needs a little friction. By using the eyelets on the whole of the first version belt, the buckle was coming out of the fabric all the time. Every time I make a little bit of a movement, I risk my entire chap falling to the ground. So this time we're not doing that. And there's really no other way I could have done it but sewing it by hand. So here you can see I am using the method how you would open up a button eye, just repeating again and again and making sure that the holes on my belt are stabilized. Alright, now this is the first fitting of my completed chap. I think this is a huge success, and I do think it looked way better than version 1. Alright guys, before we say goodbye, I just want to tell you again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please do hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so we get to hang out more in the future. All right, that's it for today. I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.